Welcome, everyone. I am so happy that you are here to talk about creative businesses. And I'm going to be sharing with you my knowledge, and I hope to inspire you. And I am excited to get to learn about you and your ideas and how you want to use your art as your superpower. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have a little slideshow. So let me go ahead and share my screen. There we go. Looks bigger. Okay, give me 1 second. All right, can I get a thumbs up? You can see my screen. We're in the right place. Woohoo, I got some fireworks. Okay, good. So how to turn your creativity into income. So this is a master class. Okay, so I just want to introduce myself. So if you're not familiar with me, I just want to share the love here. My name is Leah Guzman. I am a board certified art therapist. I've been practicing for over 20 years, and I help creatives break through their blocks and step into their superpower. And I do this through my courses, my programs, my books, my memberships. So I have a lot of different avenues to reach people. And I really do feel that art is my superpower. And that's why I am sharing this masterclass with you so that you can learn some tools and techniques to do it as well, right? I'm also the author of a few books. I've written 5 so far, and my most popular ones are Essential Artist Therapy for Youth, The Art of Healing and Manifesting, and Essential Art Therapy Exercises. So I went to school for art. Just want to let you know that I had my undergraduate in studio sculpture, and then I got my master's in art therapy. And the one thing, they love to teach you all the tools and techniques, how to make a beautiful picture, things like that. But they don't teach you how to market your art. They don't teach you how to sell your art. They don't teach you how to make a living with art. And I think that's just really, really sad. And so that is like one of my reasons of showing up here tonight to be able to teach what I've learned, because I had to, educate myself. I had to, after graduating, realize that, hey, there's a missing puzzle, like a piece in this puzzle, right? And it's still happening, unfortunately. I've talked to people who are in grad school, they go and they do all this education and they don't talk about money, right? And they don't talk about how to price your work and put it out into the world so that you can actually thrive, right? So this is really important that we learn these skills. So what we're going to be learning tonight, the little money tree in the background, we are going to be talking about money. We're going to talk about how to launch. And what is the launch, right? It's like how to put an offer into the world. But first, you got to find your ideal clients and who they are. Because when you can find your people, they're going to want to, learn more about what you have to offer. And you're going to want to have a relationship with these people, right? So they can know you, like you, and trust you, right? And then you're going to be co-creating with them so that you can help them, right? That's the whole point of having a business, is that you can help them solve a problem. So it's not just about selling one painting. It's really about being able to serve in many different ways. We're also going to be talking about how to show up consistently without overwhelm. Okay. I know that is a challenge for a lot of creatives. They feel like they're being pulled in many different directions. But the thing is, you really have to be able to follow a system, a framework that's going to support you in how you show up, because it is strategy, but it's also mindset as well. Okay. And the third thing that we're going to be learning about is how to develop a good money mentality. It's another thing, unfortunately, that they don't teach you in school. is about money. And it, like I was talking about, like business classes, unless you went to school for business, probably not talking about money and finances. So, how much do you charge? How do you, talk about money with potential buyers or clients, right? So it's really important to feel comfortable with money, have a relationship with money, and to know your worth, right? So my intention tonight is to support you in your creative practice and help you make money, right? I want you to make money and do what you love. I think it's part of the process to share that love with others and share your experiences of like what your life is about, show up authentically, and be able to support people just being you. So I would like to hear from you. If you could go ahead and put in the chat who you are and what you want to accomplish. So you came here because you wanted to learn something, but I really do want to know about you and what it is. Like, what is this business idea that you have? You might have already started it. It might just be an idea that you would like to do in the future. Okay, so Jody said she wants to create a picture book and mental health cards. Heather says she would like to do needlework workshops, support mental health. Beautiful. Catherine wants to sell products online. Shelley wants to transition from teaching teens to adults. Oh, start a paint mobile party. That sounds fun, Yada. Donna says she wants to teach beginners. Oh, I just lost Donna. Okay, beginner watercolor painting in an online creative circle, which will grow my online membership community. Beautiful. Let's see, Ardina says, I would like to provide some therapeutic services using art, which includes creating group session art pieces. Beautiful. Shauna is retired and she's a creative manager. Uh-oh, hold on one second. I'm going to stop share for 1 second. And I'm going to share again. Jacqueline says she wants to have art retreats for women, and Julian would like to have fundraising. All right, lots of amazing ideas here. And Tracy just graduated with art therapy and counseling and would like to do some group work. Beautiful. Right, so let me go ahead and share again. Oh, it's not what I meant to share. Hold on one second. Bring this back up. I lost you all for a second. Give me 1 minute. Oh. All right, can we all see my screen? Can we give me a thumbs up? You got it? Yeah, okay, good. I'm just gonna disable. Okay, cool. All right, so I like that you have this idea. And so now we're going to learn about taking some steps in that direction. So this picture reminds me of how I started. So thinking about that time when I was totally burned out and I needed support, right? This is when my kids were little. I was working full time. I was exhausted. And through that burnout process, I had to get support from an art therapist. And through my artwork, I realized I wanted to show up in a different way. And when I started showing up, this is when I realized that, hey, if I want to show up in a different way than what I was doing, then I needed to get some skills, right? And so I actually got an email today from Lindsay. She's not here tonight because she's asked if she could watch the replay, but she's an art teacher. And she said, you know what? I'm feeling really burned out. I'm exhausted mentally and emotionally. I have an awful commute. I'm overworked. I'm underpaid. And I have constant overstimulation. And I was like, I've been there. I know what that feels like. And she's like, I also have no time for myself. And the time of the workshop tonight, which is right now, she says, I have to give my toddler a bath and get him to bed. And I was like, I understand. I've been there, right? So when we're at this point where we're feeling constricted and we want to change, sometimes we do have to hit out like rock bottom. But when we want to make this change, there's this calling, right? It's like, I want to make a change. So being able to flip the script, right, of saying, hey, how can I do this? There's definitely opportunity because I've been there, right? And it was baby steps of being able to first take care of myself. That's what I had to learn, and getting the support that I needed was that I needed to put up some boundaries. I needed some self-care. I needed to work on my mindset because as you have a creative business, things come up that you need to work on. And from that, you can make a big shift. So Lindsay, who wrote me, she's like, my big dream is that I would love to work from home. I'd like to be doing my art workshops at home online. And this is why I wanted to come to your class. And I was like, all right, so you can watch it in the replay, right? So to go from this, you can actually make a shift. And I put some pictures of myself because this is where I've been working on for the past few years. And when I invested in myself, when I gave myself that permission to do that, then that's when the big shift happened. At first, I was like, wow, what if I, started working online, or actually, I rented a studio when I first started and started seeing people in person doing some workshops. And I was like, what if I just made like 30,000 more a year or 5,000 more a year? And I was thinking that was really big at that time. And I started showing up and I started doing it. I was like, wow, what if I make like 100,000? I stopped working in the studio and then I decided to work from home and move things to my house. And then I started making 100,000. I was like, oh my God, it's so amazing. And then I was like, well, what if I can make, multiple six figures? And it's like, wow, I was able to do that. So now I'm even thinking bigger, right? So you can actually, it might start small, and you might think this one number might be like a stretch, but then you can keep stretching yourself. And it's so fun. So how did I stretch myself? Well, I had to get really clear about what I wanted. Just like how Lindsay said, like, I really want to be able to work at home so then I can spend more time with my toddler, right? That's what she wants, right? That's the dream. So it's like thinking about, what is your dream? What is this lifestyle that you want, right? So for me, like, part of my motivator is my family. I don't have a picture of my family on here, but I would love taking them on trips. Before I wasn't able to take them on trips. I've gone to a few European vacations. This last one this summer, I went for 5 weeks to Spain and Portugal. It's like, wow, how amazing. And I was still able to show up for my Creative Soul Society membership. This was me in Mallorca, Spain. Just like poolside, looking at the Mediterranean Sea. It was just awesome, right? Being able to make my art in different places, being able to, practice my self-care. My self-care practice is actually me showing up online, right? And that's what I'm sharing. I'm sharing the love. In the far right corner, I got invited to teach a workshop at Omega Institute. And it was funny. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago. I actually wanted to teach at Omega because I saw these other artists teaching there, and I was like, that would be so fun. How do I do that? And I looked up online and I was like, oh yeah, I'll apply. And I never did. And then they reached out to me magically this past year. They said, hey, would you like to teach a workshop? I was like, wow, now is the time, right? So magic can happen as you start saying yes to the calling, right? and start saying yes to yourself and start, really showing up for your people to call in, okay, that you're going to call in. And that's even how, like, the opportunities for even creating the books that I've created, because publishers reached out to me. All right. So things can happen, which is really exciting. Okay. So why is this important to do it now instead of later? So online creative economy is exploding. Okay. There are lots of people doing it, but what's important is that it's needed, right? And we need to show up as creatives. We need to show up and support people in their mental health, support people and feeling good, even if it's not even that mental health component, but just making art in itself. I mean, feels good, right? And technology is so simple. You don't need a tech degree, right? You can just, learn how to use Zoom, you can hit record, right? You can create a course, right? And especially after the pandemic, people are starting to realize how important creativity is in their life, whether it's just to do it as a pastime, or just creating in community, how powerful that is. So we need more light workers, right? We need more of you to show up and share your gifts. And we all have something unique to share, right? Because we're going to do it in our own way. We're going to do it in our own style and our own energy. And that's what's really amazing. So yeah, so why you? So I was just saying how, you have all these skills, techniques, your background, whatever tools that you have, and you're going to do it in your unique way. And that's what's really cool. And that's why you can show up and call in your people to work with you. Okay. So a lot of times creatives get stuck in thinking that they need another degree. I work with a lot of art therapists and they're like, oh, I think I need to get my license in mental health counseling. Or I work with other artists and like, oh, I think I need to do this other course to get some coaching, something other. It's like, really? You don't. Okay. You have everything you need at this moment in time, right? Your lifetime experience is enough. You living is enough, right? And really, when you're calling in people, you can just be maybe like one step ahead of learning something than the people that you're teaching, right? And they're going to still learn something from you, which is powerful. I haven't been reading the comments. I apologize. I'm going to stop for a second just to make sure. I have to come back. Okay, I see that you're still writing them. Okay, so Nicole says, that is my problem. I'm an architect, but I have no therapy background. We're not talking about having to be a therapist, okay? Like, even though I'm an art therapist and I come from like a mental health background, that's not what this is about. I mean, I'm talking to, if you are an artist, a creator, right? And we're all creative in some aspects. So if you want to go up, I've had, I've worked with clients that do paint parties, right? That's what they wanted to do. And then they found their ideal clients by going to local restaurants and bars and doing the paint parties there, right? If you're an architect, thinking about what do you want to teach? I think people would want to draw buildings. I think that would be so cool to take a class. And it could be, maybe you want to put like an emotional element to it and the colors or a certain style or technique to it, Nicole. So there's no problem here. It's whatever your gift, your talent, your uniqueness that you're bringing to the world, that you can teach it. Okay. So sometimes we make up things in our head that aren't even true, right? So we have to like think of it in a different perspective. And especially as a business owner, I don't look at things as problems anymore. Yes, things come up all the time, but it's just a challenge. And you have to put on a different mentality because you want to grow and expand. And as creative, that is one of our superpowers, is that we can think in creative ways and we have to problem solve in creative ways. Okay. 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 I love Amy's comment here. It says, if Leah can do it, we can do it. Yes, I believe in you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to come back to the comments. I'm going to keep going. Okay. So I wanted to put this slide on here. It says art therapist or creative coach. And I'm going to describe the difference because a lot of times people come to this specific training, and I'm talking about creative business skills, but they come here thinking that I'm going to teach them how to be an art therapist. And I just want to make this clear that that's not my intention here, but I want to tell you like the difference between them. And again, this could be for an artist teaching art classes, okay? But I just want to go through the difference. So as an art therapist, they have a master's degree. They're credentialed from a credentialing board, and they have supervision and contact hours. So they'll usually have an ATR status or ATRBC. It means art therapy registered, board certified. We use psychotherapy and theoretical models to address mental health. So if you are dealing with suicidal ideations or have a mental illness, we're experiencing that. We know how to support you in using certain materials to help you cope, right? So we're teaching tools for emotional regulation and process art related to life. So, that's why we use that title, art therapist, okay? For a creative coach, or if you want to go into the aspect of, if you want to do healing art, you can do that. You just don't want to say that it's art therapy, right? But as a creative coach, which you could teach workshops and you could do individual sessions, you can teach from your life experience, right? So the person who said they were an architect, you have life experiences, right? You can either teach courses on that, you could, or from your architecture, you could, like I say, you could teach classes on how to create those drawings or architectural design, or you can so you can do that individually, you can do that as a group, right? You could do it as a program, you could do it as, there's many different ways that you can work, right? So as the creative coach, you're using the story as your message, your story, right? Like how you became that architect, or like why you are inspired by your life experience. You're using that as that message to call in your people, right? So there's different titles for it. They might call themselves like coach, healer, guide, art facilitator. They have some artistic background. And even if you don't have artistic background, I've seen coaches out there that are making well over six figures. They do not have artistic background. And then they say, I don't have any art background, but I decided I wanted to pick up a paintbrush. And they're doing it. So that should give you confidence if you're not feeling confident, right? You can do art making for self-care. And it's also going to be beneficial for stress relief. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there just so that you could have some clarity. Oh, Tanya says, I'm so glad to see this slide because after I got my therapeutic art practitioner certificate, people were saying art therapist. I wasn't sure how to articulate the difference to them and saying I'm non-clinical. Yeah, I think it's safer, like it's more ethical to say, that you are more of like an art coach, because I think it does get a little bit trickier with the certificates that are showing up online that are like $100, right? Because like it's very unclear, and it's better to be ethical in how you present yourself. Okay. Okay, so we're talking about finding your ideal clients. Well, how do you do that? You got to show up, right? You got to let people know. I think this is like one of the blocks of that, creatives have, is like they're scared to show up on social media. Social media is like one of the easiest platforms. Why? Because it's free. I used to be terrified, I have to admit, where I remember the first time I even showed up on social media, I went like hid under the covers in my bed. I thought that was so scary. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm showing my art. I felt like I was naked. But I understand. But I think that it's important to tackle your fears, right? You have to make your mission, so much bigger than any kind of fear that you have, right? And it's okay to have them. And it's important to, be able to share your message, share your story. And by doing that, by finding your ideal clients and sharing your message, this is where you can, build relationships with them, and then you can co-create with them. Now, what does that mean? Is like, even for me, like I started a Facebook group called the Creative Soul on the Retreat. Gosh, how long has it been? Well, I've had the Creative Soul Society for 5 years now, so it must have been about 6 years now. And I mean, it came from asking my members, hey, what do you want to do? Not the members, but the people who are in the group. I was just showing up, doing lives and, talking to them, sharing the things that I loved to talk about, and just asking them what they wanted. And they said, hey, well, we want to meet in community. And I was like, okay, well, what is that? And I was like, well, that's where the membership came from, right? And so just being able to share your message and co-create is incredibly powerful. So as you get really clear with your story and who you are and sharing that, your people will find you, right? And the ones who don't like you, I know that we have a fear of that too, people not liking us, but that's okay. People aren't going to like you, or you might be judged. That's where we might get stuck. That's okay too, because that's just going to happen. That's how people are. And you get so comfortable with yourself and loving yourself, you're just sharing the love. Okay. And that's what this is about. Sharing the love. Okay. All right. So social media, that's what I was talking about, how important it is to show up. Social media is free. I mean, we live in a day and age is like, yes, we're constantly being bombarded because of social media, but I love social media. I think it's like the best tool, right? Because it's free. You can use it how you want to use it, right? And it's an opportunity to teach. It's an opportunity to inspire or entertain, and you can make offers on social media. Call your people in, but you got to have a framework. You got to have a system so that you don't get burned out, right? And have a strategy. Definitely about balancing your energy so that you can feel supported, right? So showing up consistently on different platforms, some of the ways that I do it so I don't get burned out is, well, now I have help. It's like as you grow, you learn to get more support and more help, and learning how to ask for support. But in that support is being able to do one piece of content and being able to share it on all the platforms, right? So it just makes taking one idea and then being able to reach more people in different ways, right? Just going to check the chat again. So make your mission bigger than your fear. Yes, this is so important. It's a good practice to have. Okay. So here's just some ideas to get you started. You can create a blog post. You can create an email. You can create a video post, and you can create a social media post, right? So all this content is free, and all of this is basically one thing. For example, when I show up, I do a YouTube video. I do a little YouTube video here in my studio. I make that video is actually my email that goes out. And then as that email goes out, that's also going to be the post that I put on social media. It's all interconnected, right? So it's just one piece of content that I'm sharing and then being able to post it in many different ways. So the system that I also have is that I batch this so I can do it all in one time. So I'm not having to do it every single day. And I'm really creating a marketing plan. And that marketing plan also goes with how I want to show up and share my offers, share my gifts, right? So that's like part of my framework so that I know that I'm going to be showing up a few times a year. I even plan like for I do launches for my membership every few months, and I have one coming up in January. Very excited, a whole new one. But within my marketing planner, I can see what that looks like within a whole year, which is really powerful. Okay. So a lot of times I think where creatives, I think also get blocked is they think they have to make something really beautiful and complete, and then they go and think that they need to go share it with people. For example, they're like, oh yeah, I have this course. I'm going to go make, I keep thinking of the architect who was here. I was like, I can't do it because I'm an architect. I'm like, of course you can do it. But whatever your background is, right? So like say you're an architect and you want to make a course about how to build beautiful buildings, right? And you're like, oh, I got to get my course all beautiful and done before I can go put it out to the market, right? Before I go share it with anybody. But the thing is, you're going to get all wrapped up into creating this course. And by the time that you go to put it out into your market, guess what? You lose all momentum, you lose all energy, and then you don't put any energy into your marketing. I see it happen all the time. The better way to go about this is to create your ideal audience, bring in your people, and you do this by showing up, sharing your art, telling them your story, asking them questions, co-creating with them, and saying, what would you want to learn about, right? Do you really want to learn about how to, I'm just giving the architect idea. Do you really want to learn about like drawing those beautiful buildings? Or would you rather go inside a cute cafe and do inner emotional drawings of like inside like spaces, right? And there's like, well, I'd rather, go into a cozy corner of my home and learn how to draw that, or a cozy cafe rather than outside. And you're like, okay, well, I can teach a course about interiors, right? Because that's what they wanted. And then you're going to be able to sell that to them, right? That's what that co-creation. That's why it's important to start gathering your audience first. Okay. And that's when you get to make an offer, right? Thinking about an invitation to actually make a transformation. Another thing that I see artists doing is that they only want to sell one thing. They're like, oh, I just want to sell my one painting. Well, one painting, okay, if you sell for $100, or even if you sold for $1,000 or $3,000, are you going to be able to survive on that? No. It's really hard. It's really hard. But if you can change your mindset, this is the secret here, some secret sauce here I'm putting down. If you can sell the beauty, the transformation, the direction that the people want to go to, then you're going to be able to sell many different things, right? And sell higher ticket offers. So you're giving the opportunity to make more money because you're going to be able to get a person to have a transformation, okay, of showing up in a different way. So if you're going to be a creative coach and you want to teach people how to make a series of paintings, you can take them on a transformation of how they're going to feel at the end, right? Of creating that series of paintings, right? So I take the people that I work with on a healing journey, right? They're using their art as their superpower so that they can transform their emotions, so they can go from feeling overwhelmed to feeling peace, right? That's part of an invitation to transformation, right? And this is why I have my Creative Soul Society membership, is so that people can have a transformation by showing up on a consistent basis, because it's not going to just happen in one time. It's like going to the gym and working out for one time. are you really going to see a difference in your body? You might feel good that one time you moved your muscles, but you're not going to see the difference, right? But if you went for 6 months, you think your body's going to be transformed if you show up consistently? Yes, that's exactly what happens with your mental health when you show up for the Creative Soul Society membership. You're going to have a transformation. And I've seen it, and I get emails about it, and I get people thanking me, and they send me cards. That's the difference in a transformation. And it's letting people know how you are going to be able to serve them, right? So if you're serving people on, like, either it could be a membership, but it could be a course, or it could be in different ways that you can serve. That's where the healthy money mentality, right? That you're going to be paid on a consistent basis, right? That people can pay you on a consistent basis and you can show up and co-create with them. Are you guys getting what I'm putting down? Do you understand that concept? Constance says yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a different way of looking at, because I remember I used to try to just sell like a piece of art, and then I was like, okay, how are people living off this? It's like, that's really hard. But if you can create something that people are willing to show up on more than one time, that's another reason why I sell packages. Even for my art therapy packages or my coaching packages, is that I know that they're not going to get a transformation in one time that we meet, right? Because we have to build a relationship together, right? And that's my minimum is 14 sessions. So building that relationship takes time, right? So that's why I can have higher end packages. I can charge more because I'm asking you to invest in yourselves and invest in that transformation. It's not going to just happen one time. So it's looking at it in a different format. Okay. Okay, Lindsay asked, you'd recommend free workshops to get a community going. Yes, Amanda says that's what Leah did and still does. Yes. So the reason I offer free experiences is because people might not know me. I'm calling in people and they might not know me, like me, or trust me yet. But if they can get like a taste of like what I'm about and get a feel of my Creative Soul Society membership, which is amazing, then they're like, hey, I want to be a part of this because the people in there are really cool. And I want to learn more about like mental well-being and use my art as a tool, right? So yes, this is why it's important to be able to show up, right? Show up in creative ways and show up letting people know who you are and what you're about. Okay, Cornita says, I get it. I started 2 free workshops and was afraid to charge. Yeah, so when we talk about money mentality, you have to have a healthy relationship with money. And I tell you that I didn't have a healthy relationship with money. I used to be very scared of money. I used to be like, when people would ask me, how much, is this painting, or how much do you charge for a service? I would literally like shake because I was like, I don't know. I would freeze up. And that's when I realized, oh, I think I have an issue. And I realized I had a money monster. I had this is why I created the Know Your Money Honey course, is because, wow, I went through a whole transformation of realizing how to heal my relationship with money. And so when I was able to heal my relationship with money, the universe kept gifting me with different opportunities to make money. And I was like, okay, I know that I'm on the right track, and I know this healing is happening. And I know that abundance is my birthright, and it's just coming to me now. Because before, when I would talk about money, it used to be like a scary thing, and it's not. I love money, and then money loves me, right? It's a tool, it's an amplifier. I have a totally different relationship with money. So I know that everything in life is a relationship, and then healing, if that's something that you need to heal, it's like as you start a business, things are going to come up, right? The little skeletons in the closet, whether you're scared to show up, whether it's the money, whether it's whatever it is, those things will come up to serve you. It's not a bad thing. They're showing up as like, hey, you need some healing in this area, and maybe it's even structure, or maybe it's your self-care. I was thinking about Lindsay, who wrote me, and like this, telling me that she couldn't make it tonight. And I was like, you know what? I was there too. And what switched for me is that I had to create a self-care practice, waking up earlier. In the morning, I wake up an hour earlier to do a whole self-care routine, like my meditation, my morning pages, my exercise. When I was able to get myself grounded, things started to shift for me. And in my writing, I was able to get business ideas, right? Phyllis says, I've charged and made money from my art, but I'm scared to record myself or talk on Zoom. I believe I'm horrible. Okay, so you need to give yourself a new new story, Phyllis. You got to tell yourself that you're able to do a good job on Zoom, right? You can't tell yourself that you're horrible. You got to have some self-compassion and practice. Yeah, you just keep practicing. And as you do that, you're going to get better. We're all beginners at something. And the more that you show up, the more comfortable you're going to get, the more confidence you're going to have. And you do start small, and then it grows. I promise you, because that's what happened to me. Okay. She does great teaching in person. Well, maybe someone could record you as you're teaching in person. That might be a good one. Okay. So this is about being seen. And I was mentioning before that being seen is important. This is actually, I was invited to do a workshop of 50% participants in New Jersey. And it was peer recovery for substance use. And it was really awesome. And it's important because like, as you start getting seen, as Phyllis was saying, like she didn't like recording herself, but you have to make your mission so much bigger than your fear. As you do it, you get more comfortable, right? I've never thought that I would be, presenting in person for 50 people, or even having 1,000 people that come to some of my Zoom calls, right? And it's just like a part of the process of, it might not be good, but you start to get better, and just being open to that, right? So when you want to be a leader with all your magic, so, if you like tarot cards, or you like the chakras, or if you like, if you have some art therapy background or architecture background, whatever it is, you take in all your magical tools and you can bring them together, and you can actually make that into an offer, right? You want to be unique. Why? Because you want to stand out. You want people to know you and really think about how you're going to hook people into your world, right? So whether you wear like a cute hat, or you show up with some different glasses on, you want to be able to grab people's attention so that they know, hey, that's the person I want to hang out with, right? You want to share your story fearlessly. I'm going to be talking a little bit about this course that I have, and it has about how you share your story and how you can get really, clear about like why your story is important. And I talk about, like, for me, I talk about my burnout story, because if I didn't go through my dark night of the soul, I wouldn't have, known that I wanted to show up in a different way, or that I needed to put some boundaries and stop being a people pleaser, right? If I didn't make those changes in my life, then I wouldn't have been able to do all the things that I've done in the past few years, right? And again, make your mission bigger than your fear, right? We all have fears. It's just your relationship to it, right? It's your relationship with your fear. All right. So everyone's journey is going to be unique, right? Everyone's journey is going to be unique, and honoring our journey, and just knowing that we are being guided. So if you do have a calling to do this next step, to share your business ideas, to make it happen, especially if you want to make it happen this year, right? Of setting that intention, right? It's just making it really clear that this is like what you want to do. So I'm going to talk to you about the journey of creating a framework in a business. Okay, because there's certain elements, like if you've never taken a business course, I've taken business courses because I was like, hey, I want to learn about this. I really want to get good. I want to learn how to market. I want to learn how to have offers and grow, right? So this might all be new information, or this might be something that you've heard of before, and you might actually be doing these things, which is amazing, right? But maybe you need some fine tuning, right? So the first thing I had mentioned before is you want to build your community. It's so important to have your community and co-create with them before you should start getting all pretty with creating your packages or whatever it is that you want to make. Your connection with your community is your currency, right? Relationships, build relationships with people, talk to them. What do they need? What are they struggling with? What are their problems? And then being able to make something so that they can work with you, right? You're there to serve. And one of the biggest things I think, which I think is so important, is emails. Emails are our communication system. And I think it's one of the people who have taken my courses, the ones that have been successful, is that they are consistent with their emails, consistently showing up. I know those certain stores that I love to buy from, such as like Anthropologie, they show up in my emails like every day, and I don't mind. I love getting their emails. Why? Because I know when I open it, it's going to be something beautiful and just fun to look at, right? So it's being able to show up and serve your people with something inspiring and teaching them, right? The next thing that you need to think about is your offers. How much do they cost and how you're going to package it, right? I don't think that you should sell just one thing. I think that you should put it into a bundle and package it so that they're getting more than one thing. It's like you want it to be irresistible, right? So that there's like, I want this and I'm going to get all of this, right? So that you can be able to work with people on a longer basis, right? And multiple income streams. This is the reason why I can make money or larger amounts of money, is because I do courses, I have a membership, I sell books, I do individual sessions. So I have some different money streams, and that's what makes it fun, right? So you don't have to do it all at one time, but you can set up a plan, a structure, so that you could have different launches to bring in the multiple income streams. And then that goes with the marketing plan. So how are you going to show up, your presence, how your consistency. Consistency is huge. Say this is just as big as those emails over here. That consistency of people seeing you, they will ignore you at first, and that's okay. When you're able to get through that, being ignored and being okay with it, and you still show up, and then people are like, what? She's still showing up? What is she talking about? They're going to start to lean in and be like, oh, I like what she's talking about. I like what she's doing. The people who are interested will stay, right? And that's when you get to launch and let people know, hey, I got this. This is what I'm here to offer you. And then the last part of this is leveling up. So once you get your structure of building your community, your offers, your marketing plan, that's when the systems are in place where you can gather support, right? So like I have a marketing team now because I was able to grow to the point where I was like, hey, I need someone to help me with my emails and my text and my social media so that I can just stay in my zone of genius, right? That's what we're like, I want to stay where what I'm good at. And then funnels, like this might be a totally new word for a lot of you, but I use a platform called ClickFunnels, and it's really amazing. It's learning how to be able to open to a wider audience, and then you're funneling them to learn about specific things that you have to offer. Okay. And also value ladders. So value ladders is being able to have small offers. Like I have my smallest offer, which is my membership at $37 a month. And then it goes up to my higher offer, which is at 4,400, right? So we're looking at different value ladders of different offers that you can guide people in your emails, in your launches, so that they can get value from you. Tanya, let me see. Just reading some of the comments, and they were talking about editing takes so long. Quick clips on Instagram can sometimes take over an hour after spending however long recording it. Because this is when you start to need help, right? And being open to help. I used to be that type of person that was like super independent, had to do it on my own. But when you can start opening yourself up to receiving support, and this can be a trade with someone. You can have someone edit your videos and they're good at editing and they're open to do it. And then you could give them something that they need. I started that. I did that when I first needed help in my business. I did a trade with someone. So there's always ways. That's what I'm saying. Like our creative minds, we got to use them as problem solving. Like, okay, if this is somewhere where I'm feeling stuck, constricted, what's another way, right? Okay, I hope this information is helpful for you. I hope it's giving you some ideas of the business structure, of how money can be made and how to work with your people. Okay, so Sherlyn says, I felt like the systems and the funnel thing went a little brief. I didn't get it. Yeah, so I actually teach this in much like in a deeper way, but I just don't have like an hour or two here to go into the systems and funnels. But that's really how you can expand your reach to bring in like thousands of people to. It matters how much money you want to make. The more people that you have, the bigger your audience, then you're able to make more money. So the systems and the funnels and the value ladders, goes along with being able to reach more people. Okay. So I teach it in a deeper level in a course that a business course that I have. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a little sample of some of the people that I've worked with who actually have taken my course, have worked with me individually, or they've taken my business course and we met in a mastermind. This is Jessica Busby. She is an art therapist. And she was working for an organization where, she felt a little burned out with working too much, not getting paid enough. And she wanted to transition to private practice. So she had some imposter syndrome that she was able to overcome, and we helped her build her confidence. And she transitioned fully into a private practice with a wait list, which is really awesome. And she works in person and with her community. And she is going to start branching out online next, which is amazing. This is Becca Bourne. She's actually one of our founding members in the Creative Soul Society. She's from the UK, and she started up in the membership and then decided to take my business course. And she wanted to do paint parties. That was her idea. She's like, you know what? I want to make some more money. I want to start doing paint parties. And she is, let me tell you, she's booming right now. She's pretty much sold out every night. She goes to the restaurants and bars near her home, and she has like 30 to 40 people in her sessions. And part of one of her motivators of even like doing the work is like, she's like, I want to have extra money so I can travel and I can participate in art retreats and do those kind of things. And she does that. So it's so fun to follow her online and just see her thrive and grow. Let me tell you, she's the one has been very consistent with her emails. I'm on her email list. And for those who show up consistently, she shows up. And you're going to thrive when you make your mission bigger than your fear, right? This is Kristen Francis. When I started working with her, she was like, I don't have the money for this course. She did the higher end, the 4,400 course. And I was like, that's okay. We're going to figure this out, right? I trust that we're meant to work together. So she was in a day job that was not related to art. She's like, I want to be doing my art. And she was in recovery for substance use. She was like in AA. And I was like, well, why don't you just start doing art sessions with people in AA? It's like, you go there all the time. Would you just make the art with them, right? So she did. She started doing weekend workshops, and that's how she paid for the course. And now, super cool, she's opened her own Warrior Soul Gallery and Community Studio. She lives in Colorado, and she just turned it into a nonprofit, and she is running groups. How amazing. So she doesn't just work with people in recovery anymore. She's now doing like kids classes. She's doing all kinds of stuff, like brought in yoga teacher, stuff like that. So very cool, right? You can do kinds of stuff. You got to get creative. And just here's one more. This is Heather LeCompte. She's an art therapist as well. And she wanted to get back into making her art. She wasn't making her art. And I think that as artists, if we're not making our art, there's going to be some sort of imbalance. And that's what she was feeling. So when we started to work together, definitely getting her back onto a routine of making art a priority. So she was able to make that balance in her life, and created a sustainable schedule for her, and she built her confidence, and she really wanted to start doing some art workshops in the community. She didn't have that confidence to, she's doing like private practice work, but she wanted to like work more in the community. So she was able to do that sustainably. So yeah, so I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of the different ways that you can, take this and learn the systems and skills to be sustainable and make money. So just to let you to wrap up what we've talked about so far, now is the time, to grow in your creative business, launch what you want to launch, call in your people. And you can do this using the resource that you already have. You don't need another degree. You don't need something other, but it's, something that you can do now, because we have so many ways to reach people. So using your message to find your ideal clients, getting really clear about your story, showing up, and, just taking that next step into sharing the love. Oh, Donna has to go. That's okay. Phyllis says she wants to build her confidence. Yeah. So the confidence, like as you show up and you gain more, knowledge, you show up consistently, the confidence grows, right? So who's excited to start to change their lifestyle and do what they love? Are you ready? Are you feeling like this is a direction that you want to go into? Are you feeling the call? And a yes, no, yes. Janice says yes. Okay, we got a yes. I'm gonna just scroll through. I just want you to say yes. This is the direction I want to go. Amy says yes. Hello, yeah. Yes, 100%. Okay, good. I'm glad you're feeling it. Yes. Okay. So I answered the call. If I didn't answer the call, I'd probably be stuck in my burnout mode. I do believe it, right? I had to make some changes. So I want to offer you this invitation. So if you'd like to stay here with me, would you be open to listening to the invitation that I have for you? Yes. With the same yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm gonna say that as a yes. Okay. I have made a brand new course because I know that you guys want to learn about creative business. I've been doing teaching business courses for a few years now, of teaching what I've learned as I keep growing. And now I've packaged it as a 7-week online course. Okay. And I'm going to go through each week so that you can understand exactly like what each week is about. Okay. And see if it's something that resonates with you, because you don't have to do this by yourself, because a lot of times we can get stuck in our head of, what do I do next? I don't know what to do next. Well, here's the next step. This is what you need to build so you have a framework so that you can launch, right? So that you can call on your people, and getting clear about how to call on your people. Say, where do I start? What do I do? Well, let me go through this. So in week 1, about finding your voice, finding your audience, right? as you're going to discover your creative superpower. We all have one, right? So you have to stop spinning your wheels and trying to attract everyone. It's not about that. It's what makes you different, what makes you unique. And a lot of times it is within our story, right? It's in our message. Like I was just talking to you about Kristen. I was like, well, her story is that, she's in recovery. Well, that was her superpower because she was able to go to that community and say, I've been here. I know where you're at. Let's make some art and feel better, right? So a lot of times that's what it is. So I teach you how to map out your dream client so that you know exactly what they need, finding out what their problems are, and then also show you how to, package that so that they can pay premium prices for your items. So we go through that value ladder as well in another week, but so that you understand how to price your work, right, for the dream client. And there's a sweet spot between your passion and your actual project, like your profit. So I have worksheets so that you can be able to list it out, like what you want and how much something costs and how much you want to make, right? So if there are say if you did want a membership and you wanted to make $6,000 a month, right? So what does that look like? You have to do the math, right? You have to say, well, if I want to charge $20, well, how much 20 times what is going to get you to that 6,000 a month, right? Who's my math whiz is in here to get my calculator out? I can't do that in my head, but it is. There is when we look at profits, we have to do the money and really look at those numbers. And we're also going to be crafting our authentic brand story. So your brand story, your message is what's going to pull in the items for your site. It's going to pull in how you want to show up to find your people, right? When you think of when people see you, what do they think of, right? So you're attracting the right people. So great. So, but what do I want to say to these people, right? Well, you got to have a message, right? So you're crafting your core magnetic message. So you turn that personal journey into sales messages, right? So that people say, hey, I've been there before. Just like I've been exactly where Lindsay was not too long ago. My kids were younger, right? And then you write copy that converts, right? It's learning how to get your people, hook them so they see you, tell your story, why it's important to you, and then you tell the story so why that they can relate to. Say, hey, I relate to that too. And then you have that call to action, which is letting people know that you have something to offer, right? So I support you in making a video for your people, right? So you're going to make a 2-minute brand video so you can show up confidently, and I'll tell you how to say it, what to say, and build your community from scratch, right? I have 11,000 members in my Creative Salon Retreat. I'm so honored to have those people there because people invited people. I showed up free online. I say, hey, this is a totally free community where we get to share the love. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so what do we sell, right? What is it that you actually want to sell? So designing your signature offer. What does that look like? So a lot of times this signature offer is, we could have a few different offers, but you want to give that 10 times the value. So when I sell something, I like for it to have many different things. For example, even for my online retreats, when I invite people for a VIP to be a VIP, they're going to get a 30-day trial of my membership. They're going to get an art journal. They're also going to get 2 extra days of the retreat. So I bundle it so that they're getting so much more value, right? It makes it such a sweeter deal, right? Than just one thing. We also talk about money blocks, that the mindset that keeps creatives stuck, like they're too scared to have higher end pricing, you're not feeling worthy enough. So it's healing relationships with that abundance. and also the psychology behind sales. That's really, really important. That was one of the funnest things that I got to learn in in my the business classes that I took is charging more attracts your dream clients and actually values your work, right? I remember this when I actually went to, I was invited, I was doing heart art at the time, and a neurosurgeon saw the hearts and says, hey, can you make some brains for a brain conference? So I did. And then I remember going to the brain conference and I put a price tag on the work, and he was like, that is way too low. And he was like, you need to charge a lot more. And I was like, oh yeah, these people like make so much money. So sometimes people need to tell you like, hey, you gotta like be able to charge more for your work. Sometimes we get stuck in thinking that we're not worthy enough or that it's not good enough. So sometimes you got to hear it from other people. So being able to charge more for your work is incredibly important. And then also creating multiple ways for people to work with you, right? So you're never leaving money on the table. This is why I offer courses and memberships and one-on-one sessions. So it's all different pricing for what works for people. So how do you reach your audience? How can I reach my people? Well, emails. Emails are so powerful, right? Oops, but my sales engine is spelled funny. It's a slay engine. That's totally what it is. So email slay engine. So I make most of my money through my emails. Why? Because they're reminders. Hey, don't forget to sign up. Hey, this is the link to sign up. So being able to build a email slate engine is really, really powerful, right? So learning the right sequence of how to write them so that you're leading people, taking them on the journey with you to where you want them to go so that they're going to have that transformation, because we want people to feel good. We want people to have a life-changing moment, right? And they can only do that by signing up, right? And actually stepping in and doing the work with you. So you get to master the story, teach, sell framework. So this is what we do in emails, right? We tell a story so that you can relate with us. We could teach you something. This is why I love doing YouTube videos and then putting them into my video or in my emails so that I can show you, hey, this is something that we do. And then I also say, hey, if you want to come join us in my membership or join me in this course, you can do that. So emails feel more of like love letters, right? That people actually want to read and they want to connect with you. And people write me back from my emails and they tell me stories about themselves, right? So being able to batch emails, so you can do it all in one afternoon. So I show you how to, create that system and put it in your marketing cloud calendar so you could see how everything's organized. And also about segmenting. This is also really important of, creating specific emails to certain audiences that are actually interested in certain things that you are offering. For example, a lot of people who are doing my healing art courses might not be interested in a business course. So being able to segment them, put them in different segments helps, be really clear about what I'm offering to them. So what if I'm not good at technology? Well, this is when we go deeper into the funnels. I know that Sterling's like, I didn't get that. Well, and it takes a lot longer for me to explain about the funnel. So basically, there's a funnel here. You see a little picture. I like a funnel. So it's like you're bringing in people from a larger pool and you're bringing them down, funneling down to a specific place, right? So you're taking your customer on a journey. So for example, when I do my online retreats, I'm taking them on a journey from day 1 to day 5. You're on a journey with me, right? So I show you actually how to do a 3-step funnel that is taking your people on a journey. right? That people want to say, who's this? Take my money. And it's not complicated. So like I was mentioned before, I like ClickFunnels. I've been using it for, oh my goodness, like 2.5 years now. And that's when I've been able to make more money, right? Because I've been leading people into these funnels without overwhelm. And they make it super easy. It's basically like a drop and drag. I built my website on my own, which is pretty amazing. So, and I'm not a techie person. I'm not a techie person. And then again, this is a 90-day calendar here so that you can create in batches, right? You want to be able to create content in a way that is going to, make it easy on yourself so you don't have to like do it every day. And I also give you templates too, so that it makes it easy to fill out the information. Okay, so how and when can I launch for real? So if those of you who are like super newbie and like you don't know that much about business, launches are really, really important because that's when it's like you're setting a date to say, I'm going to let the world know what I'm offering, right? So I put launches on my calendar for the year. It's like I'm going to do this launch and this launch, and my different offers go to those different launches. So when can you do it? Well, you can do it within the 7 weeks of this course. So in week 6 is when we talk about going to market. And we do it in a video framework. So it's about building that excitement and letting people know, and you can do it by showing up with videos, right? So I know Phyllis was like, I'm scared of video. Well, this is where you get that practice, right? It's like, no, maybe you just didn't know what to say or like how to structure your video. So this is where we get into how to structure it so that you are being clear with your messaging, right? So we have a transformation script so you can share your gifts with confidence. And then I'm going to teach you the grow method. And this is all about learning about your clients, what their big goal, what their vision is, where they're feeling stuck in their reality, and then where you're giving them options and then how they can work with you. So I do grow methods when I'm selling bigger courses, like anything over $2,000. For smaller courses under that, I don't usually do sales calls. So the grow method is really, really powerful. And I usually close about 50% of my sales calls when I do my launches for those who want to work on a deeper level with me. Okay, so it's a really powerful tool to use. And being able to make a predictable income of reoccurring revenue models. So this is where, we could talk about memberships, how to set those up, the numbers around that, and how it's not just one time that someone's working with you. They can work with you on month to month, even payment plans, how powerful payment plans are, so that you can have consistent money coming in versus just selling, like I said, just one thing, right? Okay. And then the last week, this is where if you want to go big, not everybody wants like a big business, but I knew that I wanted to make more money. And every time that I make more money, I'm like, oh, I want to stretch myself. I'd like to have some more. What is that? What does that feel like? What else do I want to have? So you can grow big. You want to really think about your lifestyle and how much things cost and that expansiveness. I think it's pretty powerful. So in week 7, we talk about traffic and scale and how to grow your reach. And if you're interested in doing Facebook ads or collaborating with influencers, there's really even doing podcast or many different ways that you can grow your reach, right? So like even growing to 1,000 followers in 60 days, right? Organic strategies. Organic strategies as well without ads, but it's just attracting the right people. And then being able to turn your social media connection to paying clients, right? So again, I'm teaching you that hook, story, and call to action method so that you are showing up and letting people know. I think that's one of those creative blocks that a lot of you know, creatives need to get through is being okay letting people know that you have an offer. Right? It's so important to be able to say, hey, this is what's happening right now. Like even for me, like being able to say, like, I have a course right now. I'm making this course and I'm going to be showing up and saying, I have this. If you want it, this is the time. So it's really powerful to be able to do that. And then this one tool, I got this from Russell Brunson. This is the Dream 100 list. So this is being able to identify 100 people that you would want to work with, right? Who would you want to partner with? Whose audience do you want to be in front of, right? So if you want to get featured and recognized as an expert in your niche, this is a really great way to expand, right? And the more that you expand, you're going to have more opportunities, right? Like I did invest in ads. I still invest in ads. And that gave me opportunities to expand, right? So this is where people started reaching out to me and saying, hey, can you present at this conference or, teach at this retreat? Is because I started showing up in a bigger way, right? So they could see that, hey, she's doing that. Let's bring her here. And then we also have a 14-day visibility challenge. So you're never wondering what I do post again. I actually give more than 14-day. I have a 100-day list that you can use, but 14 days is a good bite-sized piece, right? All right. So this is exactly what I need, but this must cost a fortune. I'm so curious. What do you guys think this costs? What do you think? What number do you think I put on it? You can put in the chat. I'm just curious. Cal said $200. Oh, Amy said she already looked. Well, it's definitely more than $200 for Cal because I think my knowledge is way more than $200. Yeah, $3,000, $1,500, $1,800. Okay, let's find out. Well, consider this. If this program helps you finally be free and earn big doing what you love, how much would it be worth to you? Is it worth $3,000? Is it worth $500? Worth $200? What do you think it would be? If you could make consistent income monthly, what would you pay for it? Would you pay $10,000? Would that be worth it? Would you pay $5,000? Would you pay $2,000? No one guessed that. Okay. Well, we can do something else, something even better than that. We're gonna do $497. Look at that. So it was more than 200. But $497. I think that's an awesome, totally awesome. I know that I've spent much more than that on business courses, but I've also been able to multiply that money from those business courses, right? Because I was talking about making multiple six figures. So being able to take that knowledge and then being able to package it into a 7-week course where you get to take 1 week at a time and do the work, I think is pretty powerful, right? And then you get to do it at your own pace. I would say do one lesson a week. That's how it's served to you, is one a week. Mary Lou, so if anything like your other programs, I'm sure it's thorough and effective. I think it's thorough and effective. I'm actually going to do something really special tonight that if you purchase tonight, I'm going to give you the Money Honey course for those of you who feel that you need some healing in that area. So you're actually getting like totally bonus, but this is only for tonight. If you're interested, you are going to get that as a little bonus. And it's no risk. I do give a refund if you don't feel like it's a fit for you. So how long are the sessions each week? So what I've done is they're like 15-minute videos that You can take it in bite-size lessons, and then it has activities that you would do afterwards. Like for if you're on the email listen, okay, this is how you batch your emails. I need you to write the first 3, and this is how you will write them, right? So how long? So the videos aren't that long. There's probably like 5 videos in each lesson, but there is going to be homework to do in each lesson that you got to show up for. Do you need to be in the US to get the course? No, you could be wherever you want to because it's online. So as I was mentioning, if you take action now, you'll be able to get the Money Honey course. So if you're looking to heal your any kind of like money hesitation, you got to heal that first. It's really powerful to do the work because that's what makes changes, right? If you're going to ask someone to invest in you, you need to learn how to invest in you, right? You got to learn how to be comfortable with it. So there are any live sessions additions to the pre-recorded modules. So I made this particular course as a 7-week course, which is you're doing it on your own, right? I am going to be offering a mastermind in February. Masterminds are going to be more expensive because you're going to be getting an 8-week course with me. And then that also includes 14 individual sessions. That's like 4,400. So if that's something that you're interested, live sessions like that, then yeah, that would be something we can definitely have a phone call, Amy. We can discuss that if that's something that you'd like to do. But as of right now, this is a business course that you can do the foundations. You can get the foundations done. And then, if you want that extra support, guidance, you can get that as well. Okay. So yeah, just talking about the Know Your Money Honey course. So that will be for tonight for those of you who are interested. And this is the link. I'm going to come scroll back up just to see if there is questions that I missed. Let me see. And if there are like a good question that I missed, if my Creative Soul Ambassador can let me know. Are there live sessions or check-ins for questions or follow-up, or is it all self-paced and independent? Like I was mentioning before, the live session component will be happening in February, but it'll cost more, and you're welcome to do a consultation if that's something that you are interested in. You're welcome to email me for a check-in, or if you have questions, most definitely we could do that. And do I offer a payment plan discounted offer of the $497? As of right now, I don't have that set up, Amy, but if that's something that you'd like to do a payment plan, I think we could create something for you. Tanya said, dang, I almost said 500. Oh, you might have been the winner. Chicken dinner. Phyllis said, I need to win a lottery to pay any amount this time. So that's so interesting, Phyllis, because when I worked with Kristen, she said the same thing. She's like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this, but I just know I want to work with you. She got the 4,400. And we got her doing weekend workshops that paid for her. And now she owns a studio. Like, it blows my mind. I think that's pretty awesome. She's doing groups. So sometimes you just have to follow your intuition and see what, you got to follow the guidance of what you feel like is a good fit for you. So how often do you offer this class? This is going to be an online class it's like a green class, meaning that you can purchase it. You can purchase it whenever. More than likely, this price will go up because I just made this course at $497, and I think it's valued more. I think it should be like $1,000 course. So I could possibly change that price on when I just have it on my site. But since I just made it, I want it to be, and I think it's very thorough and clear. Right now I have it for $497, and I'm offering the Know Your Money Honey course with it tonight. So that's kind of like my sweet little deal for you. So Marcella says, I work 55 hours a week, and can I go slower at my own pace? Most definitely. Um, when I first started out doing my business, which I was in, like when I was mentioning, I was in complete overwhelmed, and I felt like Lindsay did. I was exhausted and mentally and emotionally, but I had to, find time, right? I started looking at my business as very important, and I would find 15 minutes in my day, whether it was my lunch break or, when I said I would wake up early in the morning. Well, when the house was quiet, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get 15 minutes in, and I'm going to do this certain thing on my business. So yeah, you can do it at your own pace, but I think once you get started, you get excited about it. I mean, that's how I feel about my business. I love my business, right? And you want to be able to cultivate that excitement because it is about energy, right? It's about your mindset. 80% is mindset, 20% strategy. So we do talk a lot about mindset and getting your mind in the game so that it is fun for you, right? And you're just sharing the love, right? You're just sharing your gifts. That's what this is about. And Judith said, thanks, but December is a crazy month for me. That's okay. You can, if you want to purchase it now and get the Money Honey course, and then you can do it when you're ready, right? You can do it in January. If you want to say, I want to start the new year off and a different, stepping into my business, you could do that. Sherlyn says, I could use the same offer that Amy's asking for. We just got through moving and money is tight right now. Okay, so I'll talk to my team and see if they can make a link, and I'll put a note here about Amy Funderbeck and Sherlyn to get a link for you. And how long is the money? Yeah, the Money Honey would be for tonight. And Phyllis too. Okay, Phyllis Taylor. Okay, so 3 of you are interested in a payment plan. So this course is 100% transferable to other businesses too. If I didn't already have an outsourced system for my recruiting business, I would enroll and apply this business consultancy. Great content. I just don't have an art business vision quite yet. It's coming. Okay. Phyllis asks, is this good for tonight? Yes. I created this course. This is good for tonight. I am going to be offering it. I'm going to send out some emails. Remember teaching you how to do the emails. I am going to be sending you emails about this course in the next few days. So for those who want to watch the replay, they can. And this offer is definitely going to stay $497 for the next week. So you can get it at that price then. Does this link include the Money Honey course? So if you sign up tonight, like I would mention, I just have to activate the Money Honey course for you. So I will do that for you. Okay. And for how long do we have access to the course? You have access to the course for as long as you want. It's just like when you're on my site, you have courses that you bought. So if you've bought the 21-day healing art journal course, that's still there. All you have to do is log on to leahguzmanstudio.com. And then, if you're a member of the membership, then you're going to see that there. If you have this course, you're going to see that there. So you have access to it for as long, forever. It's just going to live on the site. And Laura Joy Morris, you said, me too, please. Please let me know what me too, please. Like, what does that mean? And Bonnie says she's interested. Okay, Laura Joy Morris is interested in a payment plan. And let me know, Laura and Bonnie, what specifically you're interested in. Okay. And Lisa says she's interested, but wants to speak to her partner first. Okay. Oh, Amy started a movement. You did. That's a good sign, Amy. That means that you can start a movement with your art business. Right? That's what this is about. starting movement, starting momentum, starting, right? It's that co-creation. Beautiful. And you're really good at that, Amy, because I know I've had some emails with you and you are really good about asking questions and getting things started. So I could see that with being a gift for you. Phyllis says she already has the Money Honey. Well, I hope you've been using the Money Honey course. We've been practicing the tools. There should be some switches. Do you think this would apply to a smaller scale, supplemental income versus covering everything? Yeah, so I started off with supplemental income as well. So yeah, you could definitely have a 9 to 5 job and work small space, like small scale. Like I'm like you're building your community, right? And it's not gonna go from like 0 to like 10,000 in a week, but you will be able to show up consistently and it's going to grow consistently, right? So it is going to be small scale. And then you can choose how big you want to go, right? And the bigger you go, the more you're going to you will invest, right? Because because now I invest in a marketing team and I invest in ads and, you're going to have uh, payments. It just matters how big you want to go. It's fully up to you. So you could go small scale. The business blueprint is like you need certain systems put into place. You need a framework to have consistency to reach people and to talk to people. So it's kind of like yeah, it's a framework that like a business framework so that you can use it to sell your offers. Happy says, what's the timing for the Money Honey course? Yeah, the Money Honey course it's online again, and you could take it at your own pace. I set it up very similar to this where it's like 15-20 minute videos. So it's like digestible small videos. And then I give you a lesson and saying, okay, go do this. Usually I'm making art from it because I feel like that's how I like to teach is like make art about your money monster, make art about your money honey, make art about this experience that you had, make art about this, make art, so it's doing a deep dive with money and doing numbers, right? You got to do some math. Um, Amy, do we still have midnight to decide to qualify for the Money Honey bonus, or does that still apply if we sign up for the payment plan? Yes, Amy, I can, because you're asking about it for tonight and you are here and you are present, I will honor the Money Honey bonus for doing the payment plan. All right. Pamela says, thank you so much. Looking forward to learning from you. I hope you joined us, Pamela. Awesome. So if anyone has any more questions, please let me know. I'm here for you. Again, I'm going to be sending out emails in the next few days, just letting you know about the course, about this offer. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your businesses grow. So like I tell you, like the members who have taken this course and actually do the work, and I get their emails and I see them grow, I'm like, oh, that actually works if you do the work, right? But it's being able to say, hey, I'm ready for this. Sherlyn says, thank you so much, Leah, for all the info. We'll be waiting to hear about the payment plan for the other classes. Okay. Okay, so I will get back to those. I have Amy Funderbrick, Sherlyn, Phyllis Taylor, and Laura Joy Morris are interested in payment plan. Okay, and Robin Dyer. Oh, there's a lot of you here. Okay. Robin Dyer. Okay. Hopefully we can get that tomorrow, like the payment plan option. Oh, cool. Bonnie said she wants to do beta healing. Oh, theta healing and art combined. That sounds really cool. You did start a movement. Okay, and then Mona Ketan. Mona Ketan payment plan. All right, I got a whole bunch of names for the payment plan. All right. Well, and is this Carrie Wilson? I'm just imagining it's Carrie Wilson, but I don't know. You don't have your last name here. All right. Carrie Waite. Okay. I'll write down your name. Okay. Is there any other questions before we wrap up? That's it. Okay. Well, I hope you all have a beautiful night. If there are some questions that pop up, yeah, just send me an email or text message. Oh, Amy, I'm so happy you like the presentation. Yay. Beautiful. Have a beautiful night. And remember, I'll be seeing you on Saturday. We have a couple of our Creative Soul Society members uh, guiding us in a painting the winter season. So I'm excited about that. Okay. Good night, everyone. Bye.